We do every now and then. Today we are opening up the viewer email bag or inbox, whatever you want to call it, to see what is on your mind money-wise and to answer some of those questions. Joining us, money and business expert Derek Kinney once again today. Derek, thanks for being with us again.
Hey, my pleasure, Jason. I love this segment. Let's have some fun here.
I do too. I always like to, see what's on people's minds out there, and it kind of runs the gamut here. So let's start off with Tim. He's in Plano. He writes, saving for retirement is a huge concern for me. Get that, Tim. How do you know how much you need to be saving each month? Thank you for asking this, Tim, because I think a lot of people have this question. Derek, what do you say on that?
Yeah, Tim, it's a big question. First of all, you want to ask yourself, what is your current standard of living right now? And then you begin to future value that based on when you think you'll retire. And assume about a 2% inflation rate. And some people say, well, you may not drive as much or may not go to the dry cleaner as much. What we find is many people spend equal to what they spend now in retirement. So you're going to need more money. But what I would tell you is at least a couple years before you retire, live on a practice retirement budget to test it. That way you know with confidence you're stepping into this next phase of your life and you're probably not going to run out of money.
Okay, very good advice there. Let's get to Tina in Richardson now. She emails, I'm taking your advice and aggressively paying down my credit card debt. Very good move there, Tina. But should I also be saving money at the same time or just put everything toward that credit debt? What would you tell her on that, Derek?
Yeah, Tina, here's my hot take on that. Some people will say put everything toward the credit cards, pay it off with all your might, and I want you to do that, but I also want you to build up a cash reserve at the same time and put a little bit away for your long-term savings. So think about whatever the company matches, at least keep putting that into your 401k and put maybe a couple $100 a month if you can toward savings, but everything else, slam it toward the highest interest rate credit card debt the first, and then work your way down that ladder. That way, in case of another emergency, you don't have to hit the credit card. You can pay cash for that and not keep building up the credit card bills.
That's a really good question, though, too, and I think that's another one that's on people's minds a lot, like, do I throw everything at this? So good answer on that. Let's talk about Lauren in Dallas now, Derek. She says, I have a first meeting with a financial planner next week. What questions should I ask to make sure that I pick the right advisor? This is right in your wheelhouse, Derek.
It is, Lauren. I love this question. And what I would tell you is, having counseled people 25 years myself before I sold my business, you want to find somebody who listens to you and understands your concerns. And what you want to ask is, tell me about a time when you helped a client like me with the concerns I've got. And then you want to listen to how they tell you they worked with someone just like you, your same age, your same worries, your same fears, your concerns. And then you want to ask, now, how do you get paid? How will we communicate? What is the team like? But the bottom line is, if you feel understood and you feel like you can trust them, they're probably worth having at least a second meeting with.
Okay, good advice there. Let's finish out with Rinthia in Granbury today. She writes, are presidential election years typically good or bad for the stock market? Should I be nervous or not?
This is interesting because there's sort of this dilemma that many people think that if only Republicans are in the White House and running Congress, the market goes up. But the data shows something opposite, Jason. This is intriguing. So the market does best when there is a Democratic president and either a Republican Senate or a Republican and Democrat split Congress. And so that's been the formula for success. But typically in an election year, markets tend to be higher because the incumbent president and the incumbent party wants to do everything possible. They want to reduce inflation, they want to reduce the debt, they want to increase employment to make sure the economy shines so that people vote for the incumbent. So right now it's still early, we're still sort of in this primary season, but for the most part we know who's going to be the people running, but this year likely could be a positive year for the market if history is any indication.
All right, good history lesson there as well. We got history, finances, you name it. Derek, thanks as always for going through the inbox with us here. I think this is one of my favorite segments as well.
Loved it. Thank you, Jason. Always fun to be with you.
All right, we'll see you again next time.